Hi everyone, welcome back to my garden. I just got back from a week of vacation and this is the first look I've had at my garden since I've been back. So let's do a garden tour. Let's see what's happening here after a whole week away. Weeds. Let's see. Strawberries are the first stop. I expect that there have been some ripe ones left. See that? Yep. Which, when I went to the flea market on vacation, I ended up buying some rhubarb, so, because this stuff needs a year to recover from being moved. The beans have found the trellis. See that? Right there. So they're looking good. My marigolds sprouted. Cool. I have tomatoes growing up this trellis. And this is Juliet. So they look good. These are honeydews. Still look good. It has not been real warm. This is a delicate squash. And we're just starting to get some flowers in there. That's good. Not climbing yet though. These are, I call these my spring onions. So they kind of look about the same. These are shallots here. This is broccoli over here. Look at this. One, I would say this one is ready. We're not going to get real big heads on it. This one looks better. And some little ones. These beans have definitely found the trellis. These are black beans over here. These ones over here, the smaller ones, are just your regular snap beans, pole beans. These are pickling cucumbers and dill behind them. I see they have found the trellis. See them grabbing on there? Yeah, pretty. Flowers. Zinnias here. You are going the wrong way. You're supposed to go that way. I'll help him along later. Peas. I planted pea pods this year. And I can see I have lots of peas. I picked right before I left, which was 5-6 days ago. So, yeah, they're ready to be picked. Kohlrabi. Still no heads on them. Getting ready. Most of my lettuces have been taken out. More flowers. This is celery here. I'll show you the bottom. This is a flower patch here. Zinnias, cosmos. What else is in here? These are African Daisies, I planted those from seed. All doing very well. And then zucchini, getting its first flowers. Weed. And way down in there, you can see the first little fruits. These are bush beans here, and that row there too. These ones here are navy beans, so they're going to be dried beans. And these are mung beans. They're also going to be dried beans. They are the beans you use for bean sprouts. So, got some sunflowers here. I planted them amidst the watermelons, which have finally started to put on some length. Like I said, we've been cool here in the 70s, low 70s. So, flowers there and there. And the mosquitoes are out. Go away. So down here, this is supposed to be kale. But it doesn't look like any kale I've grown. Does it look like kale you've grown? It looks like kohlrabi to me. Let me know if this is kale or not. What am I doing? No, it's just growing more leaves in the middle. This is definitely kale, purple kale. And this is my favorite, which is blue curled Scotch kale. So yeah, I don't know what those other ones are. This is fennel in here. It's pretty, isn't it? Doesn't it make you want to just run your fingers through it? And you can see down here, put my hand down there. For reference, bulbs are getting pretty big. So peppers aren't really setting any peppers on them right now. I've seen flowers. You can see little buds. It hasn't been warm enough. And peppers, need warmth. Along with, cucumbers, watermelon, tomatoes, they all need warmth. So I'm being patient. Peppers always seem to take a long time. It all depends on the pepper. So we'll look at the other ones and see if there's any peppers on them. Onions, all looking good. Just starting to bulb. Can you see that? Starting to bulb there. We have some really nice, thick stems. I've never really had onions this good before. I'm gonna switch sides, hold on. So yeah, they're all just starting to bulb. Of course, we're just past the summer solstice, so I expect they will. The red onions, purple onions, whatever you want to call them, doing good. So I'm very pleased this year with how they turned out. Now these onions were plants that I purchased from Young, J-U-N-G, seeds or garden centers. They were expensive, but you got a lot of them. I had a lot of leftovers. And I got to tell you, I don't know if it's the plants. I don't know if it's the fact that I put fresh compost in all these beds. Maybe it's a combination of both. But they're doing very well. These ones are ones that I planted from seed. And these are the best stand of onions I've ever gotten from seed. So little tiny plants. They haven't been in the ground as long as the other ones. So That's kind of why I'm doing these as spring onions, because I had so many of them. I planted them close together, and I'll just pull them as I need them. But it might be the compost I put on everything, since these are doing better than any other ones I've ever had. Here's some pepper plants that have peppers on them. These grew in the last week, by the way. So these two. These are rainbow mix, I believe. So those will be one color of the rainbow. See, these ones don't have any. There's pepper babies on there. These ones do. These are hot peppers. It's funny that the hot peppers are doing better than the bell peppers, because it's been so cool. But they are in pots, so maybe that makes a difference. Potatoes doing very well. Okay, to deflower or not to deflower? Which camp are you guys in? Take the flowers off or don't take the flowers off? There are a lot of people who say, take the flowers off. They're wasting their energy. And there are a lot of people who say, leave the flowers on. That's a signal that your plant is producing potatoes. Which camp are you in? I'm going to take these off. I left some on. So, we'll see. Let me know down in the comments. Okay, now we're going to go down both these rows. This one and that one are tomatoes. Look at this one. Some are doing very well. This Mountain Princess, this is what this is, Mountain Princess. It's a short little stocky plant, but it's just loaded with tomatoes. I need to get in here and support this somehow. Look how many tomatoes are on that little plant. The plant's only like, I don't know, not even 3 feet high. So all the tomatoes are setting fruit. You see that in there? Some are doing better than others. The Florida weave is working very well, as it should. Put you upside down here. That's Rutgers, by the way. So Brandy Sweet Plum. This is my Grand Champion. I gotta find some place here where I can see them. Taste test winner. The only year it didn't win was last year, and that was because I didn't have it planted. So I planted 4 of them in hopes that I would be able to have some to share. Oxhearts have feathers, they don't have leaves. And we got some buttes going on here. I like to clump them together. I should probably have cut those apart. Yeah, so tomatoes are looking really good. Pretty tomatoes. And the first ripe tomato goes, as always, to Sweet Pea Currant. That's the red ones. These are the orange ones. You ready to come off? Yes, you are. Yummy. Gosh, these little currant tomatoes just have the best tomato flavor. And just for those of you who like flowers, All my daisies have opened up in the last week. Look how pretty you are. Daisies are such a happy flower. Roses are going for their second. And this one is growing some rose hips here. That's why I have these. These are Rosa rugosa. Look at this color. Tick seed. I can't remember what that is. And the dianthus. So pretty. I can't get out of the sun because I'm on the west side. Let's try that. Yeah, there's a funny story behind why they're so clustered like this, is when I dug them out of my garden at home at my other house, I just like dug them up and threw them in a pot. And then by the time I got them in the ground, it was really hard to separate them. And so I just threw them in the ground figuring, oh, I'll separate them later. So that's why they look like that. So that's it. The garden is looking great. So I have my work cut out for me in weeding, but that shouldn't be too bad. Look at this. I hope the color comes through. My granddaughter planted all these pots with flowers in them. She picked all the colors. She likes white flowers. So this one's all white. And this one just burst in with flowers. And so I then planted this for her, all white. So yeah, she did a great job. So inside my greenhouse, I'm doing a controlled experiment on growing tomatoes indoors. They're in pots, so they're not on the ground. They're not in a raised bed. I'm just kind of experimenting at this point. This is the first year with this greenhouse. So I'm just trying to get through the first year. I am getting tomatoes. That's Carolina Gold. I had an extra one there. Here, I'm getting some nice tomatoes. Here's some flowers still, and they're climbing. They're about just under my height. I'm 5'4". So I've got them strung up with some tomato ties on there. So I am getting some nice tomatoes. I don't know if you can see this. Like, I can see it, but what is this stuck on? Okay. There's some nice tomatoes. This whole experiment kind of started from a conversation I had with someone, because I can't grow black tomatoes. I've just never been able to grow black tomatoes. When I got this greenhouse, someone said, hey, try growing your black tomatoes in the greenhouse. And now that I have, I've got some peppers in here too, hot peppers mostly. And they haven't set fruit, which is weird. Now that I have, I'm just kind of learning, like, what do they need? This is how everything's doing in here. I don't know if I'm going to get any peppers in here or not. Normally our pepper season is quite late, but everything in here is a little leggy. I mean, they were leggy to begin with. If you saw that one video I did, they were leggy to begin with, but they all were a little leggy in here. This greenhouse, while beautiful, is very shady. Now I've got shade cloth on it. I've got 40% shade cloth, and I'm thinking about lifting this to here. But it gets very, very hot in here without the shade cloth. You can't even stand it in here. You know, and with the shade cloth on and with the fan I have in here, I'm able to keep it maybe between 5 and 10 degrees above ambient temperature. So that's pretty good for a greenhouse. So that's how these are doing. We'll see what happens. So here's the pumpkin patch. They are growing, which is good. They haven't started creating much trails yet. Plants are just getting established. But they are growing, so that's good. We'll see how they do in this space out here. Now, I'm not irrigating the space at all. Whereas in my greenhouse, I've got a little irrigation system set up. But they just get what Mother Nature gives them. So that's going to be it for this garden tour. I see a lot of things I have to add to my to-do list. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy being back in the garden, and just such relief that everything survived while I was gone, especially things in the greenhouse. If I didn't have that worked out, you just never know what's going to happen. Even if you have someone stop in every, a couple times a week, it might not be enough water because it can get hot in that greenhouse. I'm really happy that everything survived well while I was gone. They all behaved, so I'm happy about that. Let me know down in the comments below how your garden is going by midsummer. And until next time, happy gardening, everybody. Bye-bye.